All right, so today I'm breaking down this time drawing session from start to finish. The piece was focused on structure first, not details. Um, trying to think. My goal here wasn't perfection, but it was more of controlled construction, and I'm documenting the process honestly, including hesitation, corrections, and decision making. All right, so I always start with kind of like a dull oval. I didn't do that at very first, but that is a good first thing to do. I did it after doing the air. I kind of start with the air sometimes. Something around the air section, air jaw, air into like hair next to the air to get like the center of the head from one side. From there, I place the vertical center line first. That line determines facial symmetry and eye alignment later. Next, I establish horizontal eye guidelines slightly below center. And I'm not thinking about eyelashes or motion yet. I'm thinking about skull structure. If the structure is wrong, the entire drawing collapses later. Yep, just continuing to fill it all in. Taking my time, getting all the nooks and crannies, all the little details, whether they have to be highly detailed yet or not. It could be basic shapes and then later converted into more details. So before committing to the eyes, I lightly test the jaw curve. This is important because the jaw defines character sharpness. With Levy, especially, the jaw needs to feel controlled and slightly narrow. Then I start placing early hair strands, not for detail, but for framing. Hair helps confirm proportion before committing to the facial features. If the hair feels off, the face will also feel off. Everything kind of has to get puzzle pieced together. Yeah. So also one thing I should bring up. So for constructing the eyes, I don't draw the final eye immediately. I block the shape first, obviously. Kind of like the dull oval thing, kind of just giving a very simple framework to build off of, whether it's going to be exactly that or not. And I also do this in pen, so there's no resetting. So yeah, I have to do what I can to get it correct the first time. Um, so yeah, I block the shape first. I measure the distance between them carefully with the one eye width rule, or I look at if the hair strands that I've placed so far are placed correctly, where are those in relation to the eyebrows and the eyes? Um, I focus heavily on angle. Levy's eyes slightly tilt inward, which gives intensity. Um, I avoid heavily shading early. Structure first, always. I didn't shade in this, but like that's just it's almost like draw everything and then color it in later. Or you go to a coloring book, everything's already drawn, and then it's kind of clear which parts you should color. You um, the lines divide where colors are, or the shades of colors, depending on what the colors should be or what you choose they should be. Um, Again, so another thing is, so for nose and brow placement, once both eyes feel balanced, I lightly indicate the nose. Minimal lines, anime noses are they collapse easily if overdone. Um, it's kind of like, what are the small little details regarding the line, length of the nose, the shape, and wherever the shading lays, and you don't want to go more than that. If you're trying to go for the exact look, especially if you're doing a reference, you're looking at a reference and trying to redraw it. Um, you only your pen only touches the paper a few times. If you're doing it in pen, obviously, you can erase. That's cool, but if you're not like me, being extreme like me, you got to get those correct. Um, then the brows determine emotion more than the mouth and the in the anime portraits. I constantly step back and mentally ask, how does this feel like him? Um, I'm pretty good at making it turn out like, I guess, the type of emotion or like the type of character, but whatever you can do to try and get the exact vibe that that character is trying to give off, or that they generally give off. Obviously, now I reinforce confident lines. Um, this is where hesitation shows. If my hand shakes, it means I don't fully commit earlier. I try to draw through lines in one motion instead of scratching. The session I corrected once midway because, sorry, I should say this session I corrected once midway because proportions felt slightly off. Restarting is discipline, not failure. Even if I got to redraw the whole thing, that's happened at times, especially with pen. Doing it in pen, yeah, like you have to have very good judgment and coordination and whatever you want to call it before you even fully commit. But it's a skill. It's just building up faster because I do it in pen. But like, yeah, like that's the price you could have to pay, is having to re-go over it, get it correct, even though it's in pen, or you might have to just redo the drawing. Um, you'll learn fast. Um, Also, so if I was going to talk about hair detailing, um, trying to think, um, I build hair directionally. I follow gravity and flow. I don't randomly spike strands. I group them into sections. You can see that the shadows are even, what I drew as like the, so like for example, there's lines, but some of those, like if I was to fill in the coloring and shading of the hair, you see some of those is light for light shining glimmer. Some of those are darker for shading. Um, but those would align with like the direction the hair is actually flowing in if it's a strand of hair. The goal is controlled chaos, not messy randomness. Hair should support the face, not overpower it. Um, yeah. um, as far, and then as far as general light shading, um, so this piece here, it was semi shaded. I only shade to support depth under bangs, the shading is slight under the eyes, and the jaw edge. No heavy rendering or anything like that. Right now, I'm just prioritizing structure mastery before deep shading. Um, hmm. But yeah, if I was to reflect on this piece here, overall, I see that this session felt more controlled than the previous ones I've done. I haven't posted any of the previous ones here. Maybe I'll post some of the pictures and like highlight clips, or maybe I might attach them at the end of this video. We'll see. Some of like the ones like right before this, there were more portrait. This had more body than portrait. Um, I'm still improving at eye symmetry, or getting the eyes exactly how I would have wanted in pen the first time around. Line confidence. The moment I touch the pen with a paper, am I getting the line I want pretty much as perfectly as possible? Not having to keep chicken scratching away at it. Not that it looks like chicken scratch, but it's like you could see I obviously had to do the stroke in the same direction a few times, unless it was bolded in to the point where you couldn't see that, because it didn't take me way too many tries, and the bold line was accurate over it. Um, and faster structure commitment. But the progress is highly visible. Um, so I have to like post the what's it called,